Our code for the server that's actually being run on the Raspberry Pi is here. It's basically the default code. All I changed is like that there's a specific keyword for statistics. Like if I get temp, I'm sending like the temperature information to the client. Otherwise, if I get like up, down arrow or left, right, it changes some sort of like statistic, since like some other heuristic. But we're here talking about like the generic communications over Pi. So basically, if it gets any other like communication message from the client, it would just echo it back to the client. And here the client is HTML website, and it's based. I didn't change anything here for HTML. So there's like a text box, which when you click the submit button, it will do the on-click function of client, or actually it would send the on-click button of update data, which runs client, and client would just send that data to the server through this client.write, and I update certain aspects of the HTML if it's like if it's the keyword temp, I would update the temperature with the data. Otherwise, I would just have it return. I always have return by last return value Bluetooth dot internet HTML. But basically, it will, if you put a message here and you submit, it'll just change the Bluetooth return value to be just hi. And it does this for any message. And it saves right there, and it's making messages to our server, which we can show here. Yeah, at least hellos and stuff. And that's how they do generic communications with the Pi. And I'll explain the other keywords later. So the server, I have these keywords basically to tell the server to give some stats or heuristics for these fields. So whenever I put temperature in message to Pi and I submit it, it'll keep giving me, the server will send out the temperature of the Pi, and the code for that is below measure temp. And it just gets the CPU temperature and converts it into a string, and we return it, and we just encode it and send it. And for the other function, other keywords, they're just input keys. So in the index.js, I made the send data function, which is basically client, but if it gets like an input of 87, 83, 65, 68, it changes the direction and speed and distance. So I have it set that the up key, which is 87, I have it send the speed, which is always going to be a default value of 10, and then I send the string value of the distance, which is just like a counter that I increment every time the up key is pressed. The W key is pressed, and then S, which is coded to be the down key of our UI interface. I will also increment the distance and call go back, and then send the speed and distance to the client. And these are their movement functions for the car moving. So go forward, go back, go left, go right. This is code I use from lab 1 to basically have my car follow the path given from the A-star algorithm. Go forth is just like going forth like one box of that grid, and go back is the same thing, going backwards in that grid. Go left and right are just like right hand turns, 90-degree turns. And basically I have it so that A and D just change the direction of the car, so it only returns it returns the new direction of the car, which I keep track of using integer value, and this change car, I know this car to string function, which basically uses module arithmetic to basically keep track of where the car is facing. I always have a default value that wherever the car starts this type of application, wherever it's facing initially is set to be north, and then to the right is east, left, west, and then like the opposite of north is south. And I have it set like that. And basically the W and S send speed and distance to the client, and the client will decipher and update the according HTML here. And A and D returns the direction, so it updates the direction here. in our HTML. And it also prints out the value given by the server to the Bluetooth field right here. To see this in action, we can type temp here, submit. And I don't think my server is open. Yeah, it's not. And then I do temp here, and you can see the temperature being sent. And when I press the D key, it's now pointing to east. Press A key, now I'm back to north. I press A key again, now I'm west. I press it one more time, I'm south. And you can see it's working as intended. And when I press the W key, it ups the speed and distance traveled. And S key, it's also doing that as well. I also have the client resetting the speed to be 0 because the car is not always at a speed 10. It goes 10 for a little bit and then goes immediately to 0. And you can see it trying to update back and forth, changing from 10 to 0 really quick. And that's how I send the communication. That's the code for moving the car and statistics, or the stats of the car. To show the web interfacing stats from car, let's just do temp, and I submit, and my server is down, of course. Why wouldn't that be down? And you can see it getting the temperature in Celsius. And if I press the D key, it moves, and it changes the direction to east. Press the D key again, pointing south, and it's south. Press the D key again, it's now west, and it shows west. Press it one more time, it's north. Now to show that the A key works is I press the A key, now it's west. A key again, it's south, pointing south. A key again, it's east, it's east. A key again, back to north and north. Pressing the W key, you see the distance increments, they moved. W again, W again, W again, W again, W again, S again, S, 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 and see the distance moved. S, 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 S. And I can hold the W key to make it move forward for a longer period of time. And the S key to make it come back. You can see when I press the W key, it changes the speed from 0 to 10 real quick, and it goes away because it keeps resetting the speed to 0. Yep. So all our code is on our GitLab, and the code you should be looking at is in the Electron folder. And this is the Wi-Fi servers, HTML, index.html, the JS, the index.js, and main.js. And it's in, this is like the main page, this folder, and